MIDI controllers, a pretty essential piece of gear these days when it comes to making music, music production, beat making, songwriting. But for a lot of us, the fretboard is a little bit more familiar than the keyboard. And if you're one of those people, like myself, the MIDI guitar might be a better choice for you than the MIDI keyboard. Now, over the past couple of years or so, I have been trying to find the perfect MIDI guitar. I've narrowed down my search to 3 very different options, but I think that these 3 are going to be the options that appeal to most people. Now, everything we talk about today will be linked in the description below for you. Those are affiliate links, which means if you make a purchase using one of those links, it doesn't cost you anything extra. However, I receive a small commission, which helps support this YouTube channel, helps me bring more videos like this to all of you. So without further ado, let's get into the first MIDI guitar. Instrument 1 from Artiphon is really unique. It's unlike any MIDI controller I've ever played, and it's hard to just call this a MIDI guitar. I really dig Instrument 1, especially for the price. This is the most affordable option that we're going to talk about today, and it has a lot to offer. You can of course play Instrument 1 in guitar mode, but you also have the option to use 3 other modes with Instrument 1, which really adds to the versatility of this MIDI controller. In fretted mode, the fingerboard acts like a normal guitar neck. The strings increase chromatically, but fretless mode allows you to slide along the fretboard continuously between notes, much like you would with a violin or a cello or a fretless guitar. Pad mode takes each of the 12 frets and turns it into one giant pad, meaning that every single string in that fret will trigger the same pad or the same note. What's cool about this mode is it allows you to use Instrument 1 as a piano, for example. Or you can use these as drum pads. Now, grid mode is a little like fretted mode in the sense that each string at each fret position has its own individual note. However, grid mode allows you to play multiple notes on the same string simultaneously. Grid mode also allows you to individually tune each note location, so you can get really wild and really creative with this, and the possibilities are kind of endless. You also have 6 individual note triggers in the bridge, which is really cool. Once you've selected the mode that you want to use, you can customize your tuning. Artiphon have preloaded a bunch of different tuning profiles that you can either find in the app or in the Instrument 1 editor. And you can also pick your method or the way that you're going to trigger notes using your Instrument 1. And depending on which mode you're in will determine which methods are available to you. And listen, if all of that seems way too overwhelming, no need to worry. Artiphon have programmed a bunch of different presets that you can switch between just by pressing the volume knob. But it's nice to know that you have all of that customization available to you and so many different ways that you can use this controller. You can use Instrument 1 with your DAW and your favorite software instruments, and you'll do all of your device customization within the Instrument 1 editor for macOS or PC. But you can also pair your Instrument 1 with the Artiphon iOS app, use the app's built-in presets to play through your Instrument 1's stereo speakers really cool. Recording with Instrument One is super smooth and works really well, but I really like that you have those different modes and methods available to you. Once you get familiar with those, it's really going to enhance your music making experience because you can play guitar for one track, you can switch to a different mode, you can play piano, switch to a different mode, you can play drums. It's a really cool experience. Build quality is really solid. The outer shell is plastic, but it's a nice heavy-duty, durable plastic. Playing on the fingerboard and strumming on this bridge does take a little getting used to, especially if you want to play and pluck individual notes. But again, I think once you get familiar and comfortable with Instrument One, this controller has a lot to offer. Hey, if you're enjoying today's video, hit that like button for me. Help this video reach more people. It makes a big difference. Let's get into MIDI guitar number 2. The Jammy MIDI guitar is a super interesting take on a MIDI guitar, on kind of a guitar playing experience as a whole. First of all, Jammy breaks down into these 5 separate little pieces, making this a super portable device. Each piece also goes into a corresponding little sleeve that kind of snaps together and makes a little carrying case. So definitely a super cool design right there. Now, home base for your whole Jammy experience is going to be the Jammy app. And the Jammy app has a ton of different features, a ton of different customizable options. You can play Jammy as an acoustic or an electric guitar. You have a ton of different effects you can choose from, different tunings, as well as a ton of different playability controls that are really going to help you fine-tune your experience with Jammy. From there, you can plug Jammy into an amp and use all of these built-in effects within the Jammy app. And of course, you can also connect Jammy to your computer, use it in your digital audio workstation as a MIDI guitar. I do find that Jammy relies pretty heavily on the app. You do have to kind of finesse the playability controls to get the playing experience that you want out of Jammy. The playability presets are definitely helpful, so you're not doing too much adjusting. But when using Jammy, I do find that the app is a pretty integral part to the overall workflow. There is a desktop app in the works, which I'm definitely interested to check out, and I'll be sure to update the description of this video as soon as that's available. I've said this in previous videos, I do wish the build quality was just a little bit nicer for the price. For the most part, Jammy is plastic, and maybe that has something to do with the design team wanting to keep this a lightweight device. But in future models, I would just be interested to see what Jammy looks like with maybe more of a premium plastic like we see on the Instrument One. If you're interested in Jammy, visit the description below for a discount code, but let's check out MIDI guitar number 3. Jamstik Studio MIDI guitar. Probably the MIDI guitar that I reach for the most. As a guitar player, I feel most comfortable on the Jamstik because it's an actual guitar. The 3/4 size is super fun to play. It's got a rosewood fretboard, 2 humbuckers that can be coil split using this push-pull volume knob. You can plug this guitar right into your tube amp and play it just like you would any of your other electric guitars. Now, in addition to your 2 humbucker pickups, you also have this MIDI pickup and that's where the real fun of the Jamstik comes into play. Jamstik's signal processing technology is really good. Recording MIDI parts with your Jamstik works really well, whether you're playing chords or lead lines or riffs. And whether you're fingerpicking, using a pick, bending notes, using vibrato, Jamstik picks all of that expression and note velocity up really, really well. Jamstik has a few different MIDI connectivity options: USB-C, 3.5mm TRS, as well as built-in Bluetooth for wireless connectivity. Once you have Jamstik connected to your computer, you can use the Jamstik Creator software to do things like calibrate your Jamstik or adjust string sensitivity. You can also check out the preset browser and scroll through dozens of different software instruments and preset sounds that the Jamstik Studio team have designed to work with the Jamstik Studio MIDI guitar. And you can use the Jamstik Creator software in standalone mode or as a plugin within your digital audio workstation. Jamstik also comes with this really nice carrying case, as well as all the cables and accessories you're going to need. Jamstik is really one of those devices that for me has really enhanced the way that I make music. Whether you're writing songs or producing or making beats, so much today is done in the box with software instruments and drum machines. And when you come from a guitar background, something like the Jamstik is just really going to help you get your ideas out quicker. I do appreciate that this is the most expensive MIDI guitar that we talked about today, and it's not going to make sense for everybody. But if it fits within your budget, it's a MIDI guitar that I think will work really well for a lot of people. And I also have a 10% off discount code in the description below for you if you are interested. Well, all right, my friends, that is going to wrap up today's video. Be sure to check out these videos over here if you are interested, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.